Frost. I'm a fan of Kid Rock, so I can't say anything bad. I don't have any problems with Kid Rock. Come on, it's Kid Rock, right?
To be honest with you, I was entertained. It's always amazing just to kind of see a live performance during an event, especially if they're live. But I had no problem with it. It gave me a chance to get up, stretch, grab some drinks, and then just come back. But overall, it was a good performance.
What's that first song that he did? It was Bomb with the Bomb, the Bang.
Yeah. See, that's how you started off. That was a good start off.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man. And the crowd was into that, man. The crowd popped huge when he was done. The only thing I didn't like about it is it went on for about 15 minutes. I think he could have done, maybe limited it to a few songs, maybe 3, something like that. And then they brought all the divas out. One line of divas on one side, another line of divas on the other side, came down, and then it led us into a 25 diva battle royal. Between this and the main event, it lost me. Here's the thing, right? They brought all these big names in, all right? Sunny, Molly Holly, Jackie Gata, former names, not big names, but former names. Brought them in. And, the announcers, Jerry Lawler would say, oh, Molly Holly just got eliminated. And you're thinking, Molly Holly? Where's Molly Holly been? I haven't even seen her. Sunny? Sunny was another. I didn't even see Sunny. Once Jackie Gata. Maybe I saw Sunny once. Jackie Gata. Don't think I ever saw her in the match. And then everybody looked identical. All the divas were, everybody looked the same. And then the match itself lasted for, God, how long? Not long, right? I mean, just a few minutes, and you had 25 divas in there, and it just, I don't know. I just thought if you were going to bring, I know you can't do all their entrances. What are you going to do? Bring them out, one every 1 minute or something? Then you got a 25-minute match or longer on your hands. So I know why they didn't bring them out separately. You don't want a divas match going 30 minutes, 35 minutes. But I think there was other ways that it could be done rather than just throwing all these people out. I mean, people were excited to see former names. You know what I mean? And to bring them all out.
It brings that WrestleMania feel to it. And this is how it should have been done, in my opinion. I mean, it was cool. It was nice when Kid Rock was singing, doing his performance. All the divas came out left and right-hand side. Perfect. I like that. What probably should have been done is him finishing singing, and then while the divas are still coming down, play Sunny's music, for 10 seconds, then play Molly, play the people that are that are not really on the roster. Something to be like, oh, Molly's coming down, and then on top of that, they, again, right when they went and panned out into the ring, all the girls were fighting. So there was no chance and opportunity for the cameraman to be inside the ring and get close-ups of the ladies. It was just like, Kid Rock maybe went over. I mean, that might not be it. It could have been more than 5 minutes more, and maybe they did have something kind of, but they just completely rushed right into it. And it just, I know if I was writing that segment, I would be pissed off, or if I was Vince, because it came out really rushed.
Really rushed. And the thing about it is you had Santino in there in drag, right?
Santina, that's his twin.
All right, Santino, yeah, the sister or whatever he called himself, right?
Gotta keep it work.
You've got Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, and Michael Cole out there acting like they have
no
clue.
This lady?
Like, who is this? Who is it? And it's not like the people watching at home or, I mean, it just made the announcers just look so stupid by saying, who is that? Who is that other?
You know what it reminded me? It reminded me back in the WCW days with Tony Schiavone, where he was like, the most obvious thing is in his face, but he's still stupid about it. It was almost kind of like that.
Yeah, it came across as so, you knew it was him. You knew it was everybody and their mother knew it was Santina or Santino, whatever you guys are going to go by. You know, it didn't. And the commentators, I know it's not their fault. I know commentators have people in their ears and are telling them don't even acknowledge it. You know what I mean? And then what? It came down to the final two. It was Melina and Beth Phoenix, and Santino came up from behind in his drag and tossed both of them over the top rope, and he won. Cut a promo. Santino on the microphone. I mean, I love that. I mean, for what it was. the ending of it for what it was. You're setting up an angle for Monday Night Raw, but that's not. I don't think WrestleMania should be used as a platform to set up feuds going into the next night on Monday Night Raw. I think WrestleMania should be used as, I mean, they could have put over a diva pretty good there. You know what, at Miss WrestleMania, they could put over one of their top divas and then ran with it that way. But all they did last night by having Santina win was to further a storyline that, you know, will take place on Raw and in the coming weeks. You know what I mean? I think WrestleMania is a place where your feuds are supposed to come to an end. They're supposed to culminate.
Traditionally, yeah, that's where, you know, WrestleMania, that's where everything ends. I mean, I remember back in the old days, you know, earlier WrestleManias, that's kind of like how they were pushing it. You know, one guy comes on TV and does it and shoots his promo, and one of the things that he's going to say is this is where it ends. You're absolutely correct. And I mean, Santino, whatever, that gimmick itself is funny. You know, so I can see the reason why she won. You know, I can see that, but I can understand too is, you know, we've always had gimmick matches at WrestleMania. You know, so the old schoolers at one time with Doink the Clown, and you know, so I see the purpose of having Ishii in the ring and winning. Obviously, it's going to develop a little bit more between him and Beth, which probably means it's not going to really go anywhere anyway. I mean, who cares really? I mean, you know.
Hey, we had Mae Young at ringside. She was down there with Candice, who's also injured. Well, Mae's not injured. Mae's just. I mean, remember the last time we saw Mae on Raw, where somebody hit her and she fell down, or somebody bumped into her and she fell down, and boy, man, it looked brutal. So I'm glad they kept her out of the ring. Just this was more comical. You know what I mean? It was just Mae Young with the bell ringing at the end. She continued to ring the bell, ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I mean it was all based around comedy, but they also set up an angle to go into Monday Night Raw. So I don't know, the Divas match, between the Divas match and the main event, those are probably the two things that didn't impress me very much. Then we had Chris Jericho against the Legends, Roddy Piper, Jimmy Snuka, and Ricky Steamboat. Give it up for Ricky Steamboat.
Big up. Big up. I would like to see them two tangle tonight if they do, you know, still work on this Legends thing.
Yes, exactly. Have a Jericho versus Steamboat, maybe one-on-one match tonight. I mean, Steamboat was amazing, absolutely amazing. Snuka, on the other hand,
I'm actually glad that he was the first one to go.
Yeah, he was the first one to go. Piper, you know, I mean, Piper was better than Snuka, looked better than Snuka, but boy, Snuka was just brutal to watch. And Snuka goes out and works indie shows still. You know, I mean, Snuka works on the weekends still. He's not he hasn't wrapped it up yet, so I expected a little bit more from him. But Ricky Steamboat, I'll tell you what, he absolutely tore down the house. And then they had he looked amazing, man. He did a dive on the outside into Jericho, which was very well done. What happened? Jericho hit the what's that finisher? Codebreaker? Is that what you call it? Yeah, the Codebreaker. He got Steamboat with that, and he was the last one eliminated. So that brought in Ric Flair. Ric Flair got his WrestleMania match, if you will, the chops and the punches and everything, the whole deal, without it being an actual match. You know, it was cool to see Flair in there as well. You know, it's WrestleMania. You want to see Flair in there. You want to see Flair do something. And you know he was going to get involved because he was going to be there at ringside. So what happened? Codebreaker once again on Ric Flair, and then what happened? Jericho,
the moment of truth,
mic, right? Yeah, the moment of truth, the moment of media truth, whether you can get media out of this or not. And they got a lot of media, man. I'll tell you what, we just saw it I just saw it on Entertainment Tonight. We had TMZ.com, had an article, MSNBC had an article, front page. Actually, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker made front page of a major newspaper out of Houston, Texas. So I mean, they got some media. There just wasn't as much media as they would have liked going into the pay-per-view. But, I mean, he just didn't have Rourke. Rourke wasn't a guy that, you know, I mean, Rourke was telling people during WrestleMania weekend that nothing. I'm not doing anything. I'm going there. I'm not getting involved. Just totally works people. And then when it came down to it, what happened? Jericho called him into the ring. A little bit too slow with Mickey Rourke. I thought Mickey Rourke was trying to get that monster pop walking into the ring, you know, doing it slow, turning to the crowd, turning to the left, turning to the right.
Trying to work the crowd.
Almost like, where's my pop? Give me the pop. Give me the pop. And it wasn't coming, you know what I mean? It just wasn't there for him. So